Hi, and welcome to Golden Isles TV. I'm your host, Avery Brooks. Today we're talking about home ownership. We'll learn that the dream of owning a home can become a reality. And we'll focus on all the different things you can do to keep that home through a variety of programs such as loan modification and reverse mortgage, credit building and loan packaging, and more. Please join me now as we talk with local housing expert and founder of Totally Free, Millicent Harwell Cross. Hi, I'm here with Millicent Harwell Cross. She is the founder and president of Totally Free Incorporated, which is a nonprofit organization helping with affordable housing. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Avery. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to sit with you.
Thank you. Millicent is a wealth of information and knowledge for us when it comes to housing. And tell us a little bit about what you do here at Totally Free.
Okay, thank you. Totally Free is a HUD-approved housing counseling agency. HUD is the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and Totally Free gained its approval because of the techniques that we employ with the people that come to us and ask for services. We do just about anything that has to do with housing and consumers. We do homebuyer education, financial literacy, budget counseling. We've done some home acquisition, rehab, and resale. We do loss mitigation, reverse mortgage counseling, fair housing, anything that advocates for our clients.
Okay. Housing is hard these days because of the housing crisis, but interest rates have gone down. It's actually a great time to buy a home. Tell us a little bit about how you help people purchase a home.
Okay, well, it's a mixed bag because the interest rates have gone down, but the criteria for qualifying has gone up. So we have to find people that fit both areas, that can take advantage of those great interest rates, but also have good credit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And you have programs, though, that help people who maybe don't have great credit. You have a credit building program, is that right?
Well, what we do is we take people and we do term analyses for mortgage readiness. So if someone comes to our door and says, hi, I want to buy a house, we can take them and put them on the 5-10-year plan, or we could do a 1-month to a 6-month plan, or anywhere between. When they come in the door, we'll do an assessment with their budget, their income and expenses, lots of paperwork, and then we'll pull their credit and we'll look at the indicators in their credit report that will show what kind of pathway that we want to take them down. And also we put them through homebuyer education. We do workshops, and we'll talk about that more.
Yeah. There's so much information here. Tell me about post-purchase counseling.
Okay. Yeah, so we're starting from after you buy the house, and then we'll talk a little bit more about those who want to buy toward the end. But post-purchase counseling, we facilitate in a number of ways. Some people, once they get in their house, want to pay it down quickly. Well, we can help them reduce the term through refinancing. We can teach them strategies to prepay their principal so that they can get out of it relatively quickly. And also we do reverse mortgage counseling. Our reverse mortgage counselor is one of the top in the nation. All you have to do is dial our 800 number 866-731-FREE and state interest, and we will pass you on to our reverse mortgage counselor. He's excellent at what he does, and we have people from all over the country who call us for reverse mortgage counseling services, and that's for seniors. And the word reverse mortgage is exactly what it is. If you have equity in your house and you're a senior and you don't want to pass that house on to your heirs, and there may be a number of reasons that a senior citizen might not want to do that. A reverse mortgage would be a good product. It does go back to the bank. You're living off the equity that you put in it over the years, but also you have the peace of mind of not having to pay a monthly mortgage.
Right, and also not losing your house and having to sell it and figuring out where you're going to be, you know,
right.
It kind of takes care of all of those things.
And it's yours until you pass. And so it is a good product for some, but certainly take the counseling and make sure that it's the right product for you if that's what you're considering.
Great information. What are mortgage default resolutions? What are some of those?
Okay. Well, that is something that Totally Free has been heavily involved in. It's not a happy subject, but we've been quite popular for people who feel like they're paying too much monthly for their mortgages or have happened to fall into a default. And mortgage defaults are really a crisis for people that live in the state of Georgia, because Georgia is what we call non-judicial state, which means that you don't have a jury trial if your house is in foreclosure. They can just sell it on the courthouse steps in 3 short months. Out of all the states in the country, I think maybe 2 or 3 are set up the way that the state of Georgia is set up. So you have to know Georgia law. And it actually goes into the pre-purchase side of things too. When you're closing on a home, you select a closing attorney, but that closing attorney actually represents the lender. So as a Georgia consumer, if you're in a default with your mortgage, or if you're in a potential default, or even if you just feel like your payments are too high, Totally Free is a great place to call, because we are experienced over the years in helping people mitigate with servicers to get payments reduced on their mortgages. And we have great success stories. I don't want to make it sound like it's, happy, joy experience. Call us and we'll get your payment down right away. There is some due diligence involved. But we have some great success stories with the clients who stick it out, who allow us to advocate for them, supply the paperwork when we need it, fill out the paperwork that we need, and stay over the long haul with us. We have some really happy folks. Matter of fact, a number of them have come to work with Totally Free after they have found, hey, I have just saved a few $100 on my mortgage. Can I come work with you?
Wow.
And got my interest rate cut low. And I'm going to give you, if it's okay, a few of the samples of some favorable outcomes that we have had in mitigating for some of our clients.
Tell us
yes,
about
with
that.
the default resolutions that we were talking about. We've had clients come to us with a number of different problems, and we have in the past 8 or 9 years seen over 800 clients. I just did a quick count, so I could actually say a little under 1,000 have come to us for default resolutions.
A lot.
But I captured a few of the success stories just so we could get a clear picture on how people can get help if they're facing a default in their mortgage, and if they're feeling tight with regard to making that mortgage payment every month. And again, we're talking about Georgia being a non-judicial state, and the emergency situation that you're in, whether or not you realize it, if you're facing a mortgage default, how quickly someone needs to act. Hopefully they'll call Totally Free so we can help walk them through it. But we had one client come to us who owed over $150,000 on her mortgage, and she was a senior. After we worked with her and her servicer, her lender, we got a principal reduction to $93,000. So we're talking $57,000 in principal reduction in a savings, just because we got in there and asked a few questions and walked her through the process.
How wonderful.
Yeah. Another client we had, this one was paying $750 a month, and her interest was a little over 7%. But she was in default, and we worked with her servicer. And after we got finished with the process, she came out paying only $374 a month from $750.
Oh my gosh!
And her interest rate,
savings.
yes, her interest rate went down to 4%. So these loan modifications are no joke. We're talking about the hierarchy of important things in life. You hear people say food, clothing, and shelter.
That's right.
Hello. A house is important.
It is.
And living comfortable, not beyond your means, is very important too. Another situation that we had was someone who got a USDA loan. And we want to talk about how we package USDA loans and the pre-purchase side of things in just a minute. But in this situation, we had a client who had a USDA loan, a 502 direct loan through USDA, who had breast cancer. And because of her medical expenses and the throes of life, she could not make that mortgage payment anymore. Well, I'll tell you what, USDA is a great entity to work with, because what they did is extended what they call a moratorium to this client, which meant for 2 years she did not have to pay anything on her mortgage. A 2-year moratorium. How many folks were like that?
Everyone.
Hey, take a couple years off and get your life together.
Yeah.
There are certainly times that I've needed that.
Right.
But USDA extended that. And so those are just a few of the many, and I mean many, success stories that we have. It pays to work with Totally Free because we are an advocate organization. We can electronically submit documents. We have relationships that smooth the process out for an individual. And we want to do it. We want to help. So hopefully a whole bunch of people will call 866-731-FREE or our regular line and get the help that they need in default counseling.
Well, you sure have helped so many people feel
Thank you.
that sense of security when owning a home and keeping their home, and that's a wonderful service that you offer. Tell me a little bit about mortgage payment assistance.
Okay, thank you for asking. We actually have a partner through Georgia Department of Community Affairs, and they do a program that is called Home Safe Georgia. And that is a beautiful program also, where someone actually can have their mortgage paid for a couple of years if they fit the criteria that the program employs. So we can certainly help people determine whether or not they're a good fit for mortgage payment assistance through Home Safe Georgia, and we'd love to do that.
Well, we talked about purchasing a home and pre-purchasing a home a little bit at the beginning, and now we're going to touch on that again.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about pre-purchase counseling.
Well, Avery, the fun part of our job is the pre-purchase side. Well, all of it's fun and fulfilling, but it's really nice to see those people that want to own a home, that have that vision and that dream, and to take that dream and that vision and see it become a reality is very fulfilling and rewarding. We talked about pre-purchase counseling already a little bit, and I talked about doing the term analysis for an individual in a one-on-one setting, but also we do group education. People utilize the group education because we talk about every aspect of purchasing a home. And when real estate agents find out what we do, they are so thrilled because they see the need. Mortgagers too. When they come to us, we do the one-on-one and we put them in a workshop. And in that workshop, we talk about the advantages and disadvantages of home ownership. We talk about budgeting. We talk about credit. We talk about all the terms that they're going to encounter when making that home purchase. We talk about fair housing. We talk about the closing, and we talk about the appraisal and the survey and points that the lenders charge and what happens on closing day and who the closing attorney represents and title searches and HUD-1 settlement statements, good faith estimates, truth in lending, mortgage notes, affidavits, security deeds.
What about renting versus owning? Because sometimes people come and maybe need to
absolutely
be reassured that home ownership is the right thing for them.
That's very good statement. You get the cookie. Renting versus owning is a big choice because home ownership is a responsibility. But when people start wondering if owning is a better option for them, that's about the time it's time for them to get ready to start moving into ownership. If a person is renting, for example, paying $700 a month for 3 years, a simple math shows that $25,200 has been paid to a landlord. And if you are buying the house, the money goes to you instead of the landlord. So we always say that renting is paying someone else's mortgage.
Right.
Which would you rather do? So when you start wondering about what the advantages of home ownership are, come to us and get in on that workshop. They're fun, they're exhilarating, they're motivating, and you see that there are other people out there that are going through the same thing that you're going through, and it's any age. The first person in the 14 years Totally Free has been in business, to purchase a home was a senior citizen.
Oh, wow.
So around the second was a single father of 3. We've seen it all. So come on out, join a workshop if that fits who you are.
Let's see. Let's talk about USDA loan packaging.
Okay. Woo! I'm excited about this one, Avery. USDA loan packaging is new to our organization. We have been partners with the United States Department of Agriculture Rural Development Arm for many years. And there are certain clientele that we see that want to purchase homes that really fit that USDA mold. And we've always been diligent to move them into getting pre-qualified to do that direct loan. And they're always happy to send us folks to get the certification that have already qualified to purchase a home through USDA. Now we are somewhat making our relationship more intimate. We're marrying USDA in a new way because they have reached out and asked us to do loan packaging for them. USDA 502 direct loan is what we call a direct loan from USDA to the consumer. There is no mortgager in the middle. But now they have asked nonprofit agencies, and right now there are only 4 in the state of Georgia. Totally Free is one of 4, and we do this statewide. They have asked us to put those loans together for them and hand them to the organization, and they will do the processing and reviewing and approving. So we're very pleased about being able to do that because we know we can help so many more people. USDA is geographically restricted in that it has to be rural in nature. For example, in Glenn County, if you want to live out in Sterling or on 99 or off of exit 29 or toward Brantley County, those are all rural areas. But there's more rural that are viewing this program than non-rural. Right. So you can qualify for a USDA loan. And USDA direct loans are very exciting in a number of ways. One is that they have created ways to help people qualify for their product. Of course, that magic number of 640 in the credit score is what everybody wants, including USDA. And if you have that, it makes it a little easier. But if you don't shy away, because we can work with you to look at those indicators in your credit profile to see if you're someone that fits that product. For example, I have a couple just running through my mind, but I have a young lady who's worked with me for years now. She's my poster child with USDA. She was living in a trailer with a husband and 2 children. And when she came to Totally Free, her mom's a good friend of mine, and her mother told her to call me. And she did. She came, sat in on the workshop, found out about USDA, did all the due diligence and paperwork, and moved from that trailer to a house on about an acre of land. And she's been in that house happily for many years.
How wonderful.
And she's very quick to say that if it wasn't for USDA, she never would be where she is today. We've actually had the National Head of Housing from USDA come to Brunswick to market the 502 packaging. They're very excited about it and very motivated to do more. And we are going to do this all over the state of Georgia. In USDA, there are a couple features I'd like to mention because it is a wonderful loan product. It's been around for years, and this is the 502 direct loan. There is a USDA guaranteed loan that someone can get from a mortgager, and that is a 100% loan, which is an excellent loan product, and it's fitting for those whose income is too high to qualify for the 502 direct loan. But if your income qualifies for the 502 direct loan, it's a great product. It usually has a very low interest rate. It takes into consideration things like child care. If you're paying child care, they'll reduce your annual income to help you qualify for that USDA loan. And also there are possible subsidies in the form of reduced interest rate for certain clientele. There are so many features about the USDA loan that are valuable. If you have collection items on your credit report and you show that you paid consistently 6 months against those collection items, you can still get a mortgage with USDA. And that's unheard of in the mortgage world. It's a 33-year term versus a 30-year term, which makes the payments a little lower because the longer the term, the lower the payment. But there's so many features that I can't even utter them all in our brief interview. But we really want to encourage people to take advantage of the USDA loan packaging that Totally Free does, the 502 direct loan. And we will take them through all the paperwork. Everything related to Totally Free has something to do with paperwork.
Well, this is wonderful information. Thank you so much for sharing all this with us today. And it's wonderful to know that Totally Free is partnering with USDA and that you offer services not only here in Brunswick but statewide. So thank you so much for your time.
Avery, the pleasure's mine. Thank you for coming out. I just love Golden Isles TV, and I love you. When you come, you always make things brighter.
Thank you. Thank you for watching, and please join us again next time for more Golden Isles TV.